Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Okay, let me see here. What do we have today? What do we have today? It's 9:17, so we got 13 minutes to the bell. RMSG leading the way. Cheaper stock around 68 cents, curling up slowly and steadily. Looking okay, looking all right. Not too bad, not too bad. Volume seems to have been a little lighter, but I like that it's uptrending nicely. It looks like we could see something here, being that we're closer to the open. Maybe, just maybe, it continues. Cheaper stocks have been strong over the last few weeks. So this one here definitely is worth having on the watch list. Let me pull up the stock quote. Obviously, the Iran catalyst, like defense stocks, is not as hot since, everything began, but some headlines can still be worth checking. So I'll at least pull this off to the side so I can have it up. And let's swipe that over. Okay, looks good. So this one's a technology company. And, we'll see. So far, looks okay. Next down on the list at 40%, we have BZAI. BZAI looking not looking great. Let's see. Volume. The volume is kind of light here as of recently. RMSG pushing over 70 cents. BRCE. BRCE seems like lighter volume as well. SPRB, $80 stock. QNRX, which we've traded months ago. Doesn't really look that great either. So continuation names. FEED could be a good second string here for continuation. Yesterday's high, 252. We're currently 271, so that's a good move up here so far pre-market. Yesterday, I mean, we had one big move like out of nowhere off the lows, but other than that, it was pretty slow and steady. We had this big push here around 11 a.m. But after that, it was slow and steady. Could be a decent second string, if it grinds up today. Could be all right. QNRX. I don't know about this one just yet. I'd like to see it prove itself and gain some more volume. Hold up above the VWAP, consolidate, give a good pattern. If not, I'm not even going to look at it. So RMSG and FEED, my top two. FEED is in the health sector. Okay. All right, single screen, and I think we're good to go here. So our MSG, we now have highs at 71. We're currently pulling back 62. It'll be very important for this thing to hold above the VWAP if possible. Seems like we're getting our first 5-minute candle to pull back after some consecutive green candles here. We got about 8 minutes to market open. 8 minutes. So as usual, you know, day trade dash, not bad. We got for brokers, we have a Sage, Guardian, and for free commissions, we have a Webull. A good combination here. I don't know. I'm kind of like, you know, I feel like I can't ever just use one platform ever again in terms of brokers. I like to keep my options open. I also have E-Trade, although I don't use it for like active trading. Could, but you know, it's not the best. I think Webull a little bit more intuitive when it comes to like market orders and hotkeys. As usual, you got DAS and well, Sage and Guardian, which are like tied to DAS, so you have every single hotkey that you can think of. The only downside with like, you know, multiple platforms is that you have to be careful when switching over stocks, and you got to be careful with overlapping hotkeys, which I did over the last few months. I've had some complications with, like, you know, or let's just say mistakes, not really complications. The usual stuff that could happen to anybody, right? Even when I was on Thinkorswim, I still have issues from time to time with some mistakes there, fat finger errors, things like that. So, you know, Monday, Tuesday didn't stream, which I probably should have streamed, to be honest. Like, you know, there's no reason to not stream. So for those of you on YouTube, I kind of maybe left the audience hanging a little bit. But we're back here today. Yesterday and Monday were not good days. We sized up like aggressively on Monday, got punched in the mouth. Yesterday on I think we had a cheaper stock initially. But you know, I thought it was a little tricky to capture the moves. Like, we had some pretty big breakouts. I think 2 big breakouts that if you had missed those dips, man, like, good luck. You know, and I got stopped out like twice at the bottom after we made a new low. So today I got to be careful about some of these stocks like making a new low and then curling back up. Getting in on the lows, I think, is still the key to like ride the wave back up, but you have to be, you know, careful to not be in too high and, like, you know, selling exactly at the bottom where you should have been buying, and then the move just goes for a new high, and then you're there like, you know, you're furious. So with 5 minutes to go, I'm gonna bring it back in here a little bit closer to our MSG. Make sure all my levels are mapped out. Let me just take a quick look at the daily chart, actually. Typical daily chart curling off the lows. No pre-market trades for me on sub $1. For those of you that are watching in the chat room, what's up? What's up? Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Zay is in the building. GK. Red, what's up? For those of you on the YouTube stream, be sure to hit the thumbs up. I don't know if I can call myself old reliable in terms of like showing up every single day, but I'll still say it, old reliable. The past store on stream, feeling as confident as ever. Looking forward to a nice day. You can't. I'll think of another word. 9:27 a.m. We got 3 minutes. 3 minutes till the open bell. Our MSG looks decent though so far, I think. FEED on the other hand is pulling back slightly to the VWAP. Would be good if it's able to hold up that level there. The VWAP is around 250. In fact, it might be a pretty good dip, honestly. I might look at that one into the open as well. That $half level could be pretty big. It's actually already bouncing 68 off of 55. Not bad. Old reliable. Here in the northeast, it's about 40 degrees outside. You know, the weather's finally warming up a little bit after the extreme cold of like 10 degrees. 40 degrees is like, you know, you can go out there with a t-shirt and it doesn't feel cold. But no matter how good the weather is outside, it's always a good time to be inside and inside trading. Get it? Yes, you know, let me not talk about that. Let's see what we get today, right? I have a video idea. I'll talk about it. I have a video idea to be outside and outside trading, but we'll see if I ever do that, right? It'll be an interesting video. We got 30 seconds. We might get a break of the pre-market high here. We're getting the move slightly before the open. How well can we sustain the 71 level here, RMSG? I might watch for an early trade if it looks good here, if we can continue to hold. Well, that wasn't good. We got lows of 69. It might need a sec. No opening surge there. Did look interesting, but not quite. $75. So a little bit of a late bloomer here to start, but we're seeing 75, which is good. Do we have what it takes to push through? This is where I'd love to see the stock starting to hold a little higher. and then continuing, right? We don't need to retest 69 here. Can we hold up low 70s, 73 and continue? So 77, which is good. Now give me some sweet micros so I can jump in. 78. $78.5 for highs, 78.5. So the pullbacks are going to be key. If once we do dip small, we cannot afford a full retracement down to 69. That's going to be the key for this thing to give a good uptrend here. $78.5 for highs, $78.5. Only in with a starter there, but not bad. I was hoping for another tick down to brutal spreads right there. Got to watch out for the spreads opening up. 79 highs. We're still getting a slightly new high despite the volatility here, which I think is good. The key again, can we sustain and not retest the low of day? If we go down there to 70, 69, it's just too much. Can we hold up 74, 75, 76, 77 and continue in a good uptrend? What I'm watching out here is see how big the spread does continue to open up. Got to be careful of the spread. Not getting a chance to really add there because of our spread. We got highs of 79. Again, I'm banking on this thing not retesting the low of day levels. If it does, I got to be very careful to not take like too much of a loss. Time looks good. We got a new candlestick. There's 78. There's 79. Can we see 85? Holy shit, this thing is volatile. It's moving like a $10 stock. I'm back out for a small loss in that trade there, despite being up about 4 cents on realize. It's a bit of a false breakout. Will it hold up again here? I don't like that false breakout. We should have pushed through 80 right there. It's going to be big here if it can hold still, but see, those trades are tough, right? Like I had 9,000 shares. I had 9,000 shares at 75.7, which was a pretty good entry versus the lows. We get up to 79 and instantly we're at 75 again. Like just no chance to sell into the over 80. 75 is fighting for its life right now. If it breaks down, it's going to be cooked. But it's still fighting. Cooked in the short term at least, right? We'll have to see if it reclaims instantly or if it comes down low 70s. Could be a Christmas tree. Lots of selling pressure here. What's it going to be? It's still holding, so that's good. Can we try for over 80 again? Come on, take us long traders to our destiny here. Take me to the promised land of 82, 83 cents. Like, you know you can. As short sellers cover their positions and get smoked. Note to self, take the 2 cents. There's a hidden buyer here for sure, but you know, how long is it gonna last, right? There's some other buyers jumping in. It's like all these freaking winning trades of 2, 3 cents turning into a half a cent loss. She is cooked. She's cooked. Just this disappointing. Let's see. FEED. FEED. She is cooked in the short term. A 5-minute pullback is not that bad when you look at the pre-market context. It might still hold up, but just going to take a quick look at FEED to see how it's doing. Son of a gun. HUBC. Of course it's back up, of course. RMSG back over 75. I definitely expected a little bit of a longer consolidation slash pullback, but it's back up fairly quickly. So I think for me, I got to just take my 2 cents. I've been green unrealized multiple times, like 3, 4 times, at least 2, 3 cents, not taking it for that bigger push, and then taking like a cent loss on those trades. Not good. So we got a new high there, 83. It's going to give us our destiny here at 83 after a pullback. It's a pretty big move, 71 to 83. This definitely could go to $1. Now with that type of thought, do I just buy here and hold for one? You know, it's just so risky to do that, but it seems like it has $1 kind of potential. If we get to $1 in hindsight at that point, it'd be great entry right here, right? To just buy, but it's still too risky to just jump in like that. So missing the 70 dip, thinking we're gonna get a longer consolidation there. Right now, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's another good entry? Not looking to buy the high here of 83. I'll have to give it some time and wait. And if it keeps going, it could keep going, in which case I might miss, another push, but I think we're just a little extended off the 71 push. Hopefully we can get a good pullback here soon. Well, at least my instinct there wasn't so bad. Not a good fill at all, but even a better bounce than I would have expected. A bit of a double top 85. Does it have what it takes to get through 85? Freaking stock, son. It definitely has $1 potential. Time 44, 45. Our new 5-minute candlestick might have a little bit more to go. Bro, there's no way I get chopped at the bottom of this candlestick again. Holy smokes. I'm 0 for 3 on these dips here above 80. I guess I got one of them, but I sold a little soon. It can still bounce quickly, which is good, but we're not connecting as well as we would like. It's like averaging down would be so great, but obviously you don't want it to actually give a real, like a real pullback. Then you'd be, immensely cooked. $85.5 as high as. Bro, holy smokes. Bro, I had like 10 so extremely close trades or like all on the red side. Like, there's no way. It's definitely inching up. We could see the new high here. There's still a slight spread to it. Do not false breakout. Come on. Bro. False breakout. We gotta watch for it holding the lows though. Bro, these stocks are like it needs to hold here if it's gonna reach if it's gonna still try again over time. Ay 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 ay. I can't buy a winning trade to save my life. If it tries a second time, the chances of it going to 90 is even higher. Come on, come on. You know you want to. You know you want to. Fly. 89. 89. Fly. Fly. Seems like it's a slow grind. Not quite the big breakout. We should see 90. It seems like it might be a slower move though. Bro. I'm done with this thing, bro. The hell with that. I took like 50 losing trades in a row. It's just no way. Oh, man. White flag on this one. White flag. White flag. White flag for Pastor. White flag. The VWAP is down there at 75. If it does give like a bigger 5-minute pullback. But I'm waving the white flag here. I'm like 0 for 50 in the last like 50 trades there. It's crazy. FEED, how did it do? HUBC kind of held up a little bit. FEED is back down. HUBC, I don't know if it has the range to the upside, you know? Like it broke out by like 1 cent right there. Yeah, HUBC, I don't know if it has the range to the upside potential seems like it might be a little limited. RMSG pulling back a little bit. The VWAP is 74, 75. We're currently around 80, 79. It's like these trades like this, so you just can't miss it. 71 to 82. We caught this dip, sold it a little too quickly, struggled on the other two, and got obliterated at trying to get the breakout. This we had a good position right here, but it came up to 89 and went, or was it? It might have been a little before that actually. Or was it? No, that might have been back here. Came up to break of 80. Yeah, that was over here. Came up to break of 80, sold off very quickly. TRON and a few others hitting the scans. Sidelines for me. Bro, how do I go all 50? Like, it's just insane. But I did have a lot of trades early where I'm like green 2 cents, 3 cents, just not taking it, like looking for that bigger push. Even like 4 cents at one point, but again, the rate at which we came back down off of those moves, it's like, one moment you're up 3.5 cents, 4 cents, and then like next second you're like flat red in the trade. For now, it's a little sideways. Definitely not moving with the same volume we had closer to that 90 level, but it's definitely in range for the people who might have gotten in here, 77 to 80. There's a couple of cents there, and then to 83. Sidelines for Pastor. So at 4,500 shares, I did use 8,000 share blocks a few times. Like my very first trade was 8,000 shares, loss of 160. We brought that back to a $40 deficit after a few trades with the 4,500 share block. So we're like essentially down like 12, 13 cents, 4,500 shares, which is no bueno. Paper cuts adding up. HUBC 47 cents. HUBC again, kind of, slow and steady. Okay. Again, HUBC kind of slowly curling up. RMSG there, a good bounce off the VWAP area. We could definitely see the 5-minute candlestick make the new high at 82. The VWAP, it's a pretty quick bounce here. Hopefully there's no false breakout here, or let's say rejection. I don't have any words for this. I'm just gonna remain cool, calm, collected, and keep watching. This light is affecting my eyes today. Does it have what it takes for over 80? Well, it just moves so like it's price action here is kind of tough. Candlestick wise, can we break over 84 and then retest 89 for a push to 90, maybe 95? All right, okay, all right. Over 84, can we see a test of 90 and XTT, by the way, from like 80 cents to 110? stock is just so bad, bro. If I compare this to like a normal hot stock and like a hot market, it's like this is like pulling teeth. But there is opportunity, but it's tough. For those people who are like wildly green on this thing, way to go, man, because this is ridiculous. Damn, I'm cooked. I'm cooked with that fill, bro. Holy shit. Ah, what a nice potential entry. Turned into shit. Jesus Christ. I guess we saw that coming, but 71. 71 dip a little too tough to jump in on for me. Ah, what a insanely trash freaking stock. For those of you who did like really well on that one, what I was hoping for on this flush was like if it would have been tight and it reclaimed instantly. I was like waiting to see if we could get something there, but it was at the end of the line. Top of the top, brother. And I don't even know how people would have made money on this thing. Like this is freaking absolute trash, man. I have to be holding for 2 hours straight. Yes, brother. uh, ay ay ay. Bro, it's like my worst week in like I don't know in like months. Zay mooning, bro. UGRO, is it any good? The volume is very light. Guess we did have some more recently, but seems kind of sketchy. It's a good recovery, I guess, from the initial flush out, but doesn't seem like the typical strong stock. Honestly, this day for me should have been like a don't trade day, you know? But the criteria for what we'd like to see can be met pretty easily, right? You know, coming into the open, breaking over the pre-market high, looking for that initial push. This week I tried to size up just a little bit Monday, Tuesday. No good. Today, not much better here, despite not really using any real size. A ton of losses, poor accuracy on RMSG. SPY is it's up from yesterday. Let's do 1 day. Very soon, it seems like we're gonna get boots on the ground here. and we're probably going to get closer to a peak, is what I'm thinking. Obviously, there might be some, if things are prolonged and goes on for a while, then recession into the new year, into the end of the year, which I guess is not really a bad thing for me because I can just keep buying more of everything. But it would take longer for us to see green at that point in terms of like long term stuff. But I'm hoping for a shorter end to the conflict. But a recession, hey, bring it. Let me buy everything cheaply. I don't mind. Recessions are only really bad if you're like market wise. Obviously, like people can lose jobs and stuff, but market wise, if you're about to retire and you're like pulling out everything out of your 401ks and retirement accounts, then nobody wants the market to be down. But for a young investor like myself, recession will mean getting the SPY and every other company that I love with great balance sheets to be at a discount. Spread the wealth. Ay ay ay. Zay, it'll be time to jump on the mic, brother. Someone is asking me about like the bans. I know why people have gotten banned. I mean, we've spoke to people who work at brokers and handle like order flow, and like it's been explained to us very thoroughly. I guess everything makes. I'll respond to the message here a little later. Let me just put it as unread so I don't forget. Shout out to Vegito. I mean, there's been a lot of people who've come in the chat room who's traded live and or like went over some recaps and stuff. We've had a lot of people in the past do it. It's always been a pretty cool experience. With Vegito, I remember was trading Nvidia and like just you know talking through what he was looking at. Obviously, there's no copy trading, right? You have to like risk. You have to go at your own risk and like manage risk and understand the strategy that you know and love. But that was an interesting day to like just see someone else's like perspective of like what they look for and damn, bro, holy smokes. All right, I think I'm calling it. I'm gonna switch over to large caps and get tuned in with the geopolitical news here. See if there's any more I mean, the market doesn't really seem like there's any additional escalation today. That can obviously change later in the day or by tomorrow or by next week. The SPY bouncing slightly. USO at 110. I don't mind going short on this. Like if this can get up to like 130 a barrel, like 140 for sure, I'm going short. And I'm not using it. I wouldn't use any margin, just like straight up my own cash. Just let it sit there and do its thing. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it. Going to call it. For those of you on the stream that'll continue to trade as well, I mean, I'll be around in the chat room. If you're going till 5 p.m. into the after-hour session, continue to be disciplined. Continue to look for those good setups. Don't overtrade. Don't step out of the strategy or get emotional, which can happen to people. So be very careful in terms of managing yourself and how you feel about the day. Sometimes if you get off rail, that's where you can like get into that territory of getting full tilt, as Tim like to call it, full tilt, and then you can like really start having big mistakes. Kitty says hi. Kitty says kisses from Marcelo. Shout out to Kitty. Long time no see. Good to see you. Any update on the PDT rule? I haven't heard back anything of it. What I've heard though is that it should happen later in the year. But we'll see. Share the explanations of the bans. I mean, we spoke about it. Like, if you haven't, we posted a video, right? If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out. But essentially, all the traders like myself and others who were using like free commission platforms that offered price improvement, we were like just destroying any sort of profits that the market makers could get, let's not even say destroying, because they would still make money, just not as much as they would like to make. If there's no price improvement, right? Let's say there's a spread. Let's say there's a stock at 5 by 510. If you buy that stock with a market order on like a direct access routing platform, Guardian, Sage, Lightspeed, and all the others. Let me pull this thing up. UGRO. Let me just keep this on the screen in the meantime. Yeah, if you buy a market order on one of those stocks, you're gonna get filled more than likely on the ask at 510, right? Which is great because the market maker can, give you the worst possible fill, and they can make something in the difference there in the spreads, right? It's probably like the best way to like just look at it, just as cut dry as that. So with price improvement, maybe you get filled in the middle of the spread. Sometimes you'll get filled a little lower. Let's say, hey, the spread is 5 by 510. You can get filled at 503. the spread now becomes much tighter, which means less wiggle room for them to make something off of that particular range. And so it was a lot to do with that kind of thing. So it's like, hey, Charles Schwab, like your traders who are like, not making any money, we're still making a little bit of something, a good amount off those guys. We don't care about them. But, any trader who's doing too well, like just kick them out of the platform because we need to make as much as we can on every single person in the spreads. So what Charles Schwab was trying to do was to, distinguish themselves a little bit more to give more active traders a chance to come over to their platform by like giving the price improvement. But the market makers pretty much got a little upset about that, and it's like, hey, get rid of those guys. Now, people have also been banned who weren't really scalping, so there's a little bit more to another side of it. Like if your sizing was too big, it's weird, man, because people like Ross use big sizing even if it's with a direct access platform. I guess that's where maybe the commissions can like offset it a little bit, but there's been people who they haven't scalped a day in their life, but they would use bigger size and they've gotten banned as well. So I promise with a wink. But we've spoke to people like they explain it like much more clearly, and maybe I could get somebody to come on the channel and talk about it. I'd have to see if they would be willing to. I don't think they would mind. Honestly, like there's nothing secretive about this stuff. There's nothing secretive about it from what I can see. It was just a little tough that some people just got banned without really understanding why, right? I think especially in the beginning, but I think most people already kind of get what's going on. So, commissions, if you're not paying commissions, but in terms of a commission, I'm not sure if there's a split between brokers and the market makers when it comes to commissions. Maybe there was, right, for those platforms that were commissions back in the days, like Schwab or let's say TD Ameritrade. You have to pay before you hit the buy button, no matter the share size you're taking, right? You have to pay $6.95 to go in and $6.95 to come out. So, you're pretty much read like $14 before you even buy or sell, right? Making the trade you're going to take that much more significant, which is also why there were so many strategies centered around just a few good trades a day, like one good trade a day. Hey, just 10 trades is all you need in a day because, 10 trades round trip is already $140 in commissions. If you're hyper scalping on a free commission platform and you're making, $150 a day, $200 a day, right away, from those 10 trades that you're taking, you're down to just $50 on that same day or even flat, right? So that was the difference with the commissions. It's like, they're getting guaranteed money before you buy and sell, and they can then still scalp you on the spreads. So market makers, I don't know if they ever really lose. They probably will lose here and there, but in terms of like the volume of people that are trading, even if they're losing from some people, because at the end of the day, they're saying 9 out of 10 traders are losing, right? So for every one person who's like beating the market, there's 9 people who are losing that just, they're just basically milking them is how I see it, It's a tough business, and this business is like not really for everyone. We're not really meant to win. Like the people who are supposed to win are the people who are like working at big firms and big banks, big institutions. The average person, this is very new. This is a very new like field, due to like computing and stuff like that. There was never really retail traders just out there up until we started having brokers on our cell phones and then our computers. People, a broker was a person, right? Initially, You have to go down to the exchange or make a phone call. Hey, I want X amount of this, X amount of that. And when you look back at these old videos, it's chaotic. Like I don't even know how the market could have existed without computing. Like it was terrible what they had to be like doing to buy and sell, and you know. So thank goodness for technology. URGO here pushing up to almost 10. Thank goodness for technology and us being able to get more efficiency with buying and selling, which birthed like, you know, retail traders coming into the market, more liquidity, everything in that side of things, more efficiency, quicker orders, quicker trades. So typically the big boys are supposed to win, and like if you're a small guy, you know, it's like you're supposed to lose. That's why in what we did here, like in the past, even when we were like producing more content, we would always tell people to be very careful, like use a simulator first, um, use risk money, like a small amount of money that you told yourself, hey, if I lose this, it doesn't affect my life, because you know whether you're just trading on your own or let's say when you're trading with a community, like you know you meet people who inform you about certain things, then you start meeting actual people that work at big companies, and like the more stuff you hear, it's like damn, like this thing is just kind of, if you want to use the word rigged, you know, like it's set up for you to like lose at every turn. So the traders who are able to make it to the other side, like it is pretty impressive, you know, like whatever edge it is that you're using, whether you're holding longer, you're in and out quickly, or swing trading, I you know, it's impressive. And honestly, like outside of like small cap scalping, I think the easiest thing to do, although it's still difficult, the easiest thing to do is like the overall market stuff. But to make money doing that, you need millions. Like you need at least like 5 million liquid to really like, you know, like making 10% on that at that point is like nothing. Like you know, even like 2.5 million, 10%, quarter million a year is easy to do. But if you don't have 2 million, 5 million, 3 million, whatever, 10 million plus, good luck. If you go in with just, you know, 10K, even if you do make 10%, like, you know, you made $1,000 and it's like you didn't, nothing changed in your life, right? That's like the real trick to it. So despite the overall market being a little bit easier to trade if you have the right mindset and you understand what's going on, the biggest barrier to entry is the capital. The capital is the capital is the key. So UGRO, you know, not too bad here over the last 10 minutes. Now up to 50% on the day. There's a halt level at 1113. The biggest risk with the market though is like you got to be pretty careful not to have luck become some sort of conviction, you know? Like if you get a big win on something like a meme coin or a meme trade, you have to be very careful not to think like you're a full master, because then at that point you're putting yourself at risk. You got to be careful of that, and you got to be, you got to be willing to start slow in the beginning. That way, you're not really risking a lot of, cash. $73 is the halt up, or 85 rather. It's moved up a little bit. Big seller right there coming in, walking it down. All right, I'm out of here. For those of you still going, keep it disciplined. Yeah, trading is hard, man. You gotta make sure to go small size and not, not burn out, not run out of cash. You gotta take it slow. Slowest is the fastest way. UGRO, although the volume is not super high on the 1 minute candlesticks, it's provided some opportunities here for those of you still taking some trades. This is like one of the issues with like hitting a max loss too. It's like you kind of like strike yourself out. Obviously, if you keep going, you could potentially reduce your deficit. But if you mess up, or if you get chopped up, whatever, either or, you can add to your loss, and then you kind of get past the max loss. All right, we'll pass those kisses on to the mighty here. We got Jordy in the YouTube stream, who swears they're not kitty, but broker recommendation. If you're going the route of limit orders and small commissions, you have Sage Trader, you have Guardian Trading. If you're going the route of free commissions, Webull is good. I've never used TradeStation, but I've heard about TradeStation being, decent, so that's also an option. When it comes to Guardian, when it comes to Sage, those are connected via DAS. If you're familiar with DAS trading, it's an execution platform with really good hotkeys. I don't like their charts. I think it sucks, but they do have charts there as well if you don't want to pay for any external charts. Those are my broker recommendations. For those of you that short, the good thing with Sage, their locates are like pretty good. Their locates are pretty decent actually. I don't go short myself, but like every now and again, like I'll check to see. You know, I mean, and maybe I've been saying this for a while, but you know, going short is not a bad thing. What's funny though, I had like a dream. I had like, let's say a nightmare. I had a nightmare like 2 days ago of me like I went short like you know, sometimes you can't really remember the dreams very vividly, but I went short on like a $2 stock after a small spike. Or no, I think I was getting squeezed actually. I think I was in like 90,000 shares. I started to get squeezed and luckily it like flushed back. It was like the hardest flush you could imagine. Like it flushed back down and like I was red like 90K unrealized, like $1 a share almost. And I ended up making like 2K profits on a trade. Like it just flushed back down. I've never had a nightmare about trading my whole life, not even once. And like, is this a sign? I don't think so because dreams and reality is two different things. Like if I live my life off of a dream, like how stupid is that, you know? What in once I wake up and I'm in front of a screen, all I have to do is manage risk. Like there's no way I could be in a position where I'm getting squeezed, you know? It's a matter of taking an appropriate amount of size, and if the trade is going against me, cut the trade. Nothing more, nothing less. So could that dream become a reality? Nah, I don't believe in dreams like in that way, right? I'm not one of those kind of people. That wouldn't even affect me in the slightest if I'm deciding to go short. Anyhow, so I'm rambling on here. I'm gonna catch you guys. No, Guardian is also low commissions, cheaper commissions relative to some of the rest, and it's more limit orders. I use it for pre-market especially. Although the fees below sub one, if you're trading pre-market and you're looking to use Guardian for sub $1, it's a little tough. It's a little tough. Like the ECN fees are like is just too much, you know? It's too much. So I don't even trade sub one. I think it's not worth it. I can ask around in the chat room to see what some of the other guys use for sub one. Like for those people who are not on Schwab. If you're using Schwab, then you can trade sub one. If you connect your Schwab to DAS, then you can get some good hotkeys for pre-market. But if you're trading through Schwab and you're just using, you know, the Schwab hotkeys, you're gonna have trouble in pre-market sub one or even above one. The hotkeys there are just not good enough. So you got to connect it to a DAS platform to, you know, stand a chance. Really, is what I like to say. Market orders. You have Schwab. You have Webull, TradeStation. With Schwab, it's not a bad platform if you choose it, but just keep in mind you could get banned. Like half our community has been banned. The other half somehow haven't really had any issues, even for those people that are exclusively using market orders. But just keep in mind that you could get banned, so maybe you might need a backup if you do choose Schwab. But it's good to have a backup, in my opinion, no matter where you go, if you can afford to. It's pretty good to kind of be a little diverse, just in case, because you never know if, you know, Webull might tell you, hey, get the heck out of here too. We've seen Robinhood do something like this before where, you know, you had some big companies that were really struggling and all of a sudden you could only sell a position, right? People are getting squeezed on the short side and they're not allowing traders to buy. I mean, they all have issues. Like Schwab will sometimes restrict you from some stocks. Webull will restrict you from some stocks. I've heard Schwab's gotten a little bit better with it due to some agreements they're letting their users sign, but there's still risk of maybe not being able to trade every ticker symbol that moves up, no matter which platform you're on, it seems. But yeah, shutting it down.